Okay, today I'm looking at a proper classic. And it's not quite the first time I've looked at a Kinks song on this channel. I did look at Father Christmas for my Christmas special a few years ago. And this video is, I guess, my summer special. I've been doing these regular summer videos for quite some time now, just before I go off on my holes. And this one's clearly an amazing bit of songwriting. I think anyone would enjoy learning this song, but in particular I think if you're just starting to go beyond the beginner stages of playing and you want to get into some more complex chord progressions and chord shapes, then this is a really good one to have a go at. So I'm going to begin by playing through a bit of the song for you, and then I will break it down. Taxman's taken all my dough, left me in my stately home, blazing on a sunny afternoon, and I can't sail my yacht. He's taken everything I got, all I got's this sunny afternoon. Save me, save me, save me from this squeeze. Got a big fat mama trying to break me, and I love to live so pleasantly, live this life of luxury, blazing on a sunny in summertime, in summertime, in summertime. This one is in the key of D minor, and then in the chorus it kind of hints towards F major, which is the relative major key. And there are also quite a lot of non-diatonic chords in there, some secondary dominants and that kind of thing. So it really is quite a sophisticated piece of songwriting. But let's begin with the introduction, and you've got this classic descending bass line thing. That's a very 60s kind of a sound. We're starting on a D minor chord, and you're going to need to finger your D minor like this, which is slightly unusual. I'm using fingers 2, then I'm using my little finger and my first finger, and the reason for that is it leaves the third finger free to play this next note. So we're kind of holding the D minor down, the bass note is changing, so we've got what's sometimes referred to as a slash chord, where we've got a D minor on top but the bass note is changing underneath it. So this is a D minor with a C in the bass, or a D minor over C. So 2 beats on each of those chords. Then the bass line continues to go down, so the next bass note is this note here. It's a B, the 2nd fret on the 5th string, and you've got some options here, I think. I mean, you could, if you like, play this. So we've got the B muting the D string, and then we've got the D minor chord on top, and you're going to need to bring your 3rd finger in to play that 2nd fret note. That works, it sounds good. It is a little bit awkward, that. So what I was doing is I was kind of cheating on that a little bit, and this seems to be what Ray Davies does when I've seen him play this tune live. So he's just kind of playing this chord here. So you've got the B bass note muting the 4th string, then you've got an open 3rd string, and then 3 and 1 on top. So you've got that open string in there, but it still sounds cool. The important thing here is that descending bass line. So I think if you just play it like that, it's a little bit easier than having that finger in there as well, and it kind of sounds just as good. So that would be my preferred option there. And then I'm doing a similar thing on this chord here. So bass line goes down again to a B flat at the 1st fret, muting the 4th string. Then I've just got an open string, 3rd fret on the B, and I'm kind of muting the top string. So it's kind of a nice easy way around this chord progression here. That's much easier than trying to keep that D minor on top the whole time. And you could do something like that or that, which for me is a little bit awkward, and it's more important for me just to have it nice and easy and flowing. And I did read somewhere that I think Ray Davies composed this one on a piano, and this is the kind of chord progression that's very easy to play on the piano. You just hold down D minor and then you can play the bass note in the other hand. But when you translate that onto the guitar, you've got these slightly awkward fingerings, but this would be my preferred solution to this. Then we're continuing down. The bass line goes to an A, and the chord on top now changes. We've got an A chord. I'm playing that by barring with my first finger, second fret on the D, G and B. Then we're changing the bass note again. So we've got a G bass note, so it's an A over G, playing that bass note. Then I'm muting the fifth string just with the underside of this finger. And then we want the bass note to go down again. So this time we want an F, and this is another slightly awkward chord. We want to have that A on top. I'm using my thumb wrapped around the top to get that bass note, which I know a lot of people find that thumb over the top technique quite awkward. It is worth persevering with just because it's so widely used and is really helpful. I suppose you might be able to find some other solutions where you don't use the thumb, but give it a go with the thumb over the top, and then just lifting up the thumb, and we've got the low E in the bass. So that's our introduction, and most of these chords are just played on the beat. It sounds good just on the introduction if you have the chords a little bit staccato. So I'm just bouncing the fingers of my fretting hand, maybe just using a little bit of muting with the side of my picking hand as well. And we're into the verse, which starts like this. So starting on that one chord, that D minor, and then we're going to C, or I'm hearing this as a C7. So we've got fret 3 on the 5th string, and then fret 2, 3, 1, and an open top string. So that's a C7. 4 beats on that. Then we've got an F, and you've got some options with the F chord. You could play this as a full bar chord. You could use this kind of beginner's F, or play it like this. My preference here is again to use the thumb over the top. So the thumb is just playing the 6th string, and I've got 3, 3, 2, 1, and 1. I do prefer to play the F chord like that when I'm playing songs like this with kind of cowboy chords and open chords. It's just a little bit cumbersome to go from these kind of open chords, then going into the bar chord grip where you need to change the position of your fretting hand and your forearm, and then back to the other chords. It's just not as relaxed for me to do it that way. It might be different for you, so it's completely up to you how you play that F chord. You might go for the full bar. If you do struggle with that thumb over the top, you can just play that part of the chord and maybe just mute the low E string. That sounds absolutely fine in this context. But then we're back to C7, and then we've got this descending bit that we had in the introduction. It's the second half of the intro chord progression, so the A and then going down. That's the verse. It's all played with this nice relaxed swinging strum. So it's 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. That would, if you want a fixed strumming pattern, that would be my suggestion. So down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up. And perhaps a slight accent on 2 and 4 as well. we go round again, got another verse, or the second half of the verse, it's the same chords repeated. He's taken everything I've got, all I've got's this sunny afternoon. And then building up into the next section of the song, you're just hanging on that D minor chord. Then we're into the next section of the tune, and is this the chorus? I'm not exactly sure what to call it. It's either quite a long chorus which goes through various different bits, or it's kind of a bridge or a pre-chorus leading into a chorus, but whatever you want to call it. The next bit, it goes to a D7, so this is quite a surprising chord change here. It's been D minor for the verses, now we're going to D7, and we've got this series of dominant seventh chords. So it's D7, then it's going to G7, and then C7, and then to F. So we're heading to this F, which is the one chord in the relative major key, and these chords are all moving in the circle of fifths, which is quite a common, it's kind of a jazz thing, and I suppose this song is a little bit jazz influenced, or a big influence on Ray Davies was this kind of music hall tradition which employed these jazz-like chord progressions. So we're just going from D to G, C to F, so down in fifths or up in fourths every time. If you look at the circle of fifths, it's just going straight round that cycle. So we've just got a bar on each of those chords. Save me, save me, save me from this squeeze. I got a big fat mama trying to break me. And then just at the end of that cycle of chords, we're going to an A7, which is carrying us back to the D minor chord. So very nice, clever chord progression here. And a little additional thing that you can try on the C7 chord, which is quite nice, is just changing the bass note. So a way of adding a little bit of movement to the chord. So I'm just moving my third finger over from the root note down to the low E string. So it's going from C to a G. It's the root and the fifth. So it gives you a little bit of a bass line sound. Then we've got the Love to Live So Pleasantly bit, which is just D minor to G7. We do that again. And live this life of luxury. So on luxury, we've got G7 to C7, and then the lays in on the sunny afternoon bit, we've got F, A7, and then we hit this bit again, the intro descending sequence. And we just repeat that. In summertime, in summertime. And that's the tune. We then go round for another verse, another chorus. I think there's actually a double chorus at the end of the tune, and then it ends on that descending sequence once again. So it's a classic song, a fun one to play. Things to focus on with this one, just getting a nice relaxed and steady groove with your strumming hand, and then smooth chord changes with your fretting hand. So think about those fingering options that I suggested. Try and get as smoothly between those chords as you can. The guitar I'm using today is my Martin D28, probably my favourite acoustic guitar. I do have another Martin, my 0015M. I'm lucky enough to have two Martins, Mr. Johnny two Martins, and yeah, that is a nice guitar as well. But purely in terms of sound, I think the D28 it's got a bigger sound. It's a slightly more complex sound. The downside of this guitar, it's a little bit bigger. It's a bit more unwieldy, so often I will go for the 00 just because it's a bit more comfortable, but for recording this guitar is quite hard to beat. That's it for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. There's going to be tab and a little chord lyric chart up on my Patreon page. Thank you to all my wonderful Patreon subscribers. Your support is much appreciated. And as I said, I'm going to take a little break now for a week or two, which is something that YouTubers and influencers aren't supposed to do, because apparently the algorithm will turn against you. But that's a risk I'm going to have to take, and I'll see you in a week or two's time.